Now we'll be discussing our stanza 3. Stanza 3 starts within double inverted commas as written. See Betty and Dolly, she say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine in her laughter. Now children, dear students, please read these lines again in your heart. You will identify pain in the heart of poet Shirley Tolson. What pain can we sense out? Up till now it's only that she's describing us. Up till now it's only that she's describing us. What she's describing about her mother. Accidentally she came across a photograph which was pasted on the cardboard, and now what we identify here is that was her past mine in her laughter. I'll come to those lines also which I've left right now, see Betty and Dolly. But please read this line again. The sea holiday. Earlier in our first stanza, what was informed to us? They informed us. I'll just go back and read those lines. There they just mentioned about paddling. Only paddling was mentioned, but not about the sea holiday. But the ones who have read this poem earlier will be able to identify this paddling is a kind of a sport that is attached with your sea adventure holidays. And so are we informed here, not in stanza 2 but in stanza 3. So stanza 3 reveals two things. Number one, it reveals the name of these two girl cousins, clearly mentioned these two girl cousins. Thanks Ayushman. And then we come on further, and secondly, what is identified here? That they have gone, these girls have gone for a sea holiday. See Betty and Dolly, and look how they dressed us for the beach. That means these girls are very young. How? Why are they young? They look young because it's mentioned here in these lines. This is what is the beauty of poetry. What is the beauty of poetry? The beauty of poetry is that we are informed here, somebody dressed us. They were dressed us. How they dressed us for the beach holiday, the sea holiday. It's again more explicitly explained to us. Was her past. Who is her here? H-E-R. Who is her here defined? Her here is defined as mother's past. Mother's past. Mother's past. Mine in her laughter. What am I enjoying right now as a daughter, as Shirley Tolson, because she's writing this poem. Shirley Tolson says that I'm really enjoying the laugh, the smile, $1 million smile on the face of my mother, who's so young, because she's mentioned in the second stanza that before I was born, before Shirley Tolson was born. Are you able to see in between the lines, students? Dear students, are you with me? Ansh, are you with me? Are you able to understand what I wish to explain you? All right. So we are informed here, was her past. Again, there is a comparison. Was her past, but what is she here enjoying? She is enjoying a laughter. She is enjoying here the smile. But yes, we identify here a tinge of pain here. We identify here. Why? Because was her past. Those were the past days of my mom, of my mother. Mine in her laughter. I'm finding some relief once when I see the laughter, when I see the smile. Smile is actually a very broad smile that can be seen on that cardboard once when she looks at the photograph. Smile of mother is so broad, it looks that she's laughing, she's enjoying herself. And when we move on further, this refers to now dear students, read this, your fourth stanza, first line. Now she's been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. Its silence silences. It's the grief that has engripped Shirley Tolson, has engripped her tightly. What is she mentioning here? She is mentioned here Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. So it has been so many years after that she here refers to Shirley Tolson came across this photograph. She is now no more there with me. My mother is not there with me, and I'm really missing her. I'm missing her badly. And of this circumstance here refers to this particular circumstance where she cannot find her mother. There is nothing to say at all. It's only and only a vacuum that has been created, permanent vacuum that has been created. It's silence that silences me always. I am unable to do anything, but it's only the silence that has engripped me, grief, and it's only the kind of loneliness that she's feeling right now. This is the only thing that she's having. So we can see here pain and loss of mother that has made her to revive, that she's recalling all her beautiful memories. Dear students, please tell me, is this poem clear to us? A photograph written by Shirley Tolson, and the kind of questions that are normally asked. Number 1, describe the cardboard which is mentioned. They'll give you 4 lines and they'll ask you 4 questions. They'll ask you 4 questions based on it. What is the name of the poem, and who is the poet? Who is the poet of it? Secondly, they'll ask you what is the meaning of so and so word. Any one word or a phrase can be asked, and you will be asked to explain about it. Third type of question that they ask you is that what reference to context based questions, in which they'll be asking you that in what context can you if you can define us. For example, let's see in this particular line itself, who is the girl in this context? Who is this girl? If I talk about your stanza 4, who is this girl? So you may get confused. This girl can be Shirley Tolson, can be mother, can be also your Betty and Dolly, 2 girl cousins. It can also be this. So please be very clear when such kind of questions come in. You should be very clear with the words, with the play of words, which often we examiners try to have an interplay. So please see to it that it should be clear to you. Please tell me if anything that's not clear to you so far. Please tell me, students, if anything that's not clear to you regarding this particular poem, so-called poem. Is it clear to us? Anything that anyone wants to ask? If any phrase... Yeah, Aryan? Yes, Aryan? Please tell, Aryan, please speak your question.
Ma'am, there was one question which...
Yeah?
There was one question in the assignment that silences is which literary device?
Yes.
Is personification or alliteration?
You will take personification. Right? You will take your personification, not alliteration. Right? Anything else that anyone wants to ask about? Anything?
How is it personification?
It can, see, when we talk about silences, if we talk about the sound of S, it's also, how it's personification, I'll take your question, but this is also alliteration because it's silences. So sound S is coming. But when I talk about its silence, it is also referring to your, when you are taking that grief into account and you are personifying it. But please, are you there with me? Who is that student who asked me this question? I think I forgot your name. This is your alliteration because S sound is being repeated here. Aryan. I think I answered your question, Aryan. Is it clear to you? Alliteration is correct. Alliteration is correct because it's mentioned here. Both are correct. Both are correct. Personification as well as alliteration. But please take it as alliteration. Right? Anything else? Anything else that anyone wants to ask about? All right. Now let's move on to our second part of the question. Let's go on to our second part. Just tell me, Lebanon Top. Is Lebanon Top poem clear to us? Is it clear to us? Should I quickly do with you the Voice of Rain? If the time allows. What's the time right now? Right now, what is the time?